What is up, everyone? Punmeister X here, and I've got a confession to make for you guys. I am, in fact, a squirrel. Yes, I'm literally a squirrel talking to you, talking through a microphone, talking to you guys about games and stuff. Obviously, you can't see who I look like, but I'm a fucking squirrel. I'm obviously a descendant of Conqueror or something like that. But anyways, on to today's topic. As you've probably seen, Nintendo is coming out with a new console because, let's be honest, the Wii U kind of sucks, even though there's some good games like Mario Maker. But anyways, Nintendo is coming out with a new console, codename NX, as it's called right now, and it was supposed to come out this year, but now it's been delayed to next year. March 2017 as of right now. So why is it being delayed? Well, there's rumors going around that it is because they're adding VR capabilities to compete with PlayStation VR and obviously all the PC VR headsets. And I believe Xbox will be having one. Well, we'll find out probably at E3. So let's talk about why Nintendo wants to add VR. Obviously, because everyone else is doing it right now, and it's the big thing to do, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. I want to start with the bad first because why not? So everyone, let's think about back in the day when Sega was still around, and Sega came out with the Sega Saturn. And originally, the Sega Saturn was supposed to be a hardcore 2D system that played arcade games like at really good resolutions, basically identical to the arcade games back when there were arcades. But anyways, so the Sega Saturn was going to come out, and then Sony came in and showed off the PlayStation and was like, hey, we're going 3D, full on 3D. And Sega got a little nervous, and so they decided to add 3D at the last minute. And of course, when they added 3D capabilities at the last minute, it made the console really hard to basically program for, as opposed to the PlayStation where it's like, oh, let me program a game real quick, done. And because of that, games on Sega Saturn did not work very well. It was hard to program for, so there weren't many games on it, and the system crashed. And then obviously Sega crashed later on, but not during the Saturn, but it was part of the reason. But so if Nintendo adds VR and it's kind of shoehorned in, that might make VR games not worth it, and it might cost Nintendo more money. However, I don't see that really happening. I'm just putting that out there. Now, adding VR with Nintendo, known for doing innovative stuff like touchscreens and Wiimotes and tablet kind of stuff with the Wii U, it could actually be very good for Nintendo, where they capitalize on VR with all these innovative games, and people will go, oh, that's why I want to get VR. And it might come in cheaper. I mean, PSVR is going to be $399 US dollars, and thinking about that, that's a lot of money on top of you need hardware that can handle that. So it could be good for Nintendo to come in at a lower price point maybe, or have it bundled with the system and come out with some great games. And if they can do all of those at the same time, that would be amazing if Nintendo could do that. Now, here's another problem that Nintendo's going to run into. They still have the Wii U. And the Wii U's kind of sucking right now, to be perfectly honest. It's not selling well. There haven't been many games coming out for it as of right now. The more they delay the NX, the more that the Wii U is going to suffer, and the more that Nintendo is going to suffer in the long run. Obviously, when NX comes out, there's going to be a bunch of games for it, which is good. I'm happy to see that there's going to be a bunch of launch games coming out. But if you have to wait that long, there won't be a reason to get a Wii U at the time until then. 3DS will probably stay strong, obviously, because that's their moneymaker right now. But it's going to hurt Nintendo in the long run. I really hope that when NX comes out, that it is powerful enough to compete with Xbox One and PS4. And it's powerful enough to do all the latest games. And I really hope they just start off with a standard controller or some kind of controller that is good enough for the regular party games, regular third-party games to come out on. And I hope that's what happens. And obviously, if Nintendo wants to innovate, that's totally fine, but they are desperately needing third-party support. Like, desperately. Like, how many of you actually buy third-party games for a Nintendo system that isn't exclusive? Not many, probably. I know I don't. And actually, the better question is, how many games are on Nintendo's console that is a third party that you can get on PS4, Xbox One, PC, all that good stuff? Doesn't really happen, unfortunately. So Nintendo really needs NX to work, and hopefully VR will help in some way. But if not, then this could be Nintendo's last straw. Unfortunately, it could go the way of, the Dreamcast, where they do everything right, but it's just not enough to keep them afloat in the console business. And none of us want that to happen. Everyone that I know wants Nintendo to succeed, because let's be honest, Nintendo makes some really good games. Like, really good games. My favorite game is still Super Mario 64 on Nintendo 64, and that's still one of my favorite consoles. But if they don't do well in this next console cycle or this next console, then this could be the last thing for them, unfortunately. I mean, the Wii U is selling worse than the GameCube, and the GameCube was supposed to be the worst seller, and now it's not. That's not good at all. But maybe adding VR capability will help in the long run, but who knows? It could change anytime. It can go the way of the Kinect and go the way of the Virtual Boy. I hope it doesn't, but we'll have to wait. Until then, don't forget to comment. Tell me what you guys think about Nintendo NX. Tell me about what could be better for Nintendo. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next video, guys.